Let me tell you a secret. Few months back, whenever I was trying to do the rag, it was such a drag. I mean, what the heck? You needed to first pre-process your documents, then you needed to chunk them, then you needed to convert those documents into numerical representations or vectors or embeddings, store them in a vector database, and before that, of course, you needed to select your vector database, whether it be Vivian, Pinecone, Postgres, and there are thousands other options. Or after that, you would need to create an index on top of it, then you would need to manage it, then you would need to get it back with cosine similarity, and then augment your prompt with it, and then you would just pray to the gods of large language models that your model would be deciphering that prompt augmented with your own data and would return you the exact or whatever you needed it to return. And then you would also worry about the citations and what sort of data it is going through and all that stuff. So all in all, as you can already imagine, it was such a trek. It still is. I mean, in terms if you're doing it that way, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of resources. For example, LangChain is great, but if you try to build even a simple retrieval augmented generation or RAG with it, it is simply too much. I mean, for a simple task, you would need to write a lot of codes. So, and in my humble opinion, sometimes I feel that these lang chains and other stuff, they are too overcomplicated and maybe over engineered. So RAG or retrieval augmented generation, if you're not aware, is a technique for generating text using additional relevant information fetched from an external vector store. The basic idea is that the providing relevant documents or context to the model can greatly increase the factual accuracy and groundedness of the generated text. Another use case is that, for example, if you have your own company's data and you want the large language models to respond to user queries while keeping your own company's data in context, then you use RAG. But as I mentioned earlier, the process is quite complicated, quite long. You would have to take care of a lot of things. In this video, I am going to show you one of the simplest method of doing retrieval augmented generation, or in simple words, one of the simplest method to give more context to ground LLM responses in your own data very simple way. So let's get started. You already can see that I am displaying Cohere's website, who are the brains behind Command R and various other models for re-ranking, embedding, and general purpose large language modeling. I will be using Cohere's API in order to call their Command R Plus model, and we will be doing RAG with it in different ways. If you haven't already, go to their website and I'll drop the link in video's description, which is cohere.com. Sign up with your for your free account. Once you signed up, on the left hand side, click on API keys in your profile and then just get an API key if you don't have already, just a new trial key, and then you can use it in your own code. And then you can display it or you can use it. I will be deleting this one, so don't worry about copying it. Now let me take you to my code and then show you how you can do the simplest RAG in the world. I'm using VS Code Studio on my local Windows system. First thing you need to do is to make sure that you install Cohere, which is very simple. Just do pip install Cohere and you should be good. Then in your environment variable, simply export this Cohere underscore API key and here replace it with the key you got from the Cohere's website. Once that's done, you're all set to start. Let me first show you the first code. In this example, I am doing RAG with an external source. So I will be asking this Cohere's model, which in this case is Command R, that go and fetch something from the web. How to do that? Let me show you. First, I'm importing Cohere and operating system. I am setting my environment variable Cohere API key and giving it to this Cohere and then instantiating Cohere's client. And then this is a simple function which receives a prompt or query. And then by using this command R model and this prompt or query, it uses this connector to do the web search. So connectors are one of the greatest tool, I would say, or simplest tool from Cohere. These are the ways of connecting to data sources. They enable you to combine Cohere's model, which power the chat API endpoint, which we are using, with your data sources such as internal documents, document databases, the broader internet, any other source of context which can inform the replies generated by the model. And connector primarily enhance Cohere's retrieval augmented generation offering and can respond to users' questions. So this is what we are using here. So after that, in this function, after getting the chat, I am receiving the text and the citations, the references, and then this is the query which I'm specifying. And when this function returns response, I am storing it in text and citation and then returning it back. So let me run this. So I'm just running this Python script, that pyrag cohere web, which is the name of this file. So let's wait. It is doing the web search at the moment because I haven't provided it any other context. There you go. So it has gone to the web and it has, so the query was, who is Fahad Mirza? Now, Command R plus, of course, is not aware of me. So he has done some sort of web search and has found someone else in aesthetic surgery of the face and body and all that stuff. It is quite cryptic, but you can see that after that, it has also found me. And then it is saying that it's a tech blogger. So it has found multiple people. And then eventually it has found me here that their Twitter handle is this. Okay, but this is not my Twitter handle. I think this is someone else's Twitter handle. It has found multiple responses from the web search. Now, in the next example, what we are going to do, we are going to provide it our own text and then we will ask it to just ground its responses in that text. So again, same thing. I'm installing Cohere in the second example, setting API key. Now, I'm not only passing it my prompt or query, I'm also passing it some documents. And instead of connector, just like I did here in the previous one, in this example, I'm just specifying documents. What exactly is this document? This is a document, just a list or array where I am giving it a title and then a free-flowing text that Fahad Mirza is an AI YouTuber who creates contents about AI, cloud, and DevOps. And then second document is, or item is, Fahad Mirza lives in Australia. So two things. And then my query is where Fahad Mirza lives. So now instead of doing the web search, I'm asking this Cohere's Command R model to ground its response as per this document. You can see that I'm calling this function with both. So let me clear the screen and then instead of doing web search, let me just simply do the ragging with my own document. So I'm running it. Let's wait. So it is doing an API call. By the way, sometimes it fails because I'm using the free API. Anyway, so Fahad Mirza lives in Australia. There you go. So I'm asking it where Fahad Mirza lives. So it has correctly identified that I live in Australia, what I do. Another interesting thing, if you see, it is also give us the citation that where exactly it has found the answer. So you see, it has found it in document 1. If you look above, this is the array of 2 elements or list of 2 elements. 0 is the first one and 1 is the second one. And here it has shown that it has found that location information from doc1. How good is that? And AI YouTuber information it has found from the doc0, which is the first element in the array. How amazing is that? Now, if you want to give files instead of this list, because you might have your own file where you would have a lot of data, you can also do that. So I have just stored 2 files on my local hard disk, file 1 and file 2, and I have put in same information. So in file 1, I have put in this one, in file 2, I have put in this one. In this new example, instead of giving it array of string, I am just, what I am doing, let me go down. So I am just reading the files from the local operating system. And I've created a small function read underscore file, this one, which is just opening the file and storing the content and returning the content. And then content is being stored in file content 1 and file content 2. And then this is what I am giving it to the documents, and then I'm calling the generate reg response with citation. How good is that? So you can just put any file of yours, you can just give any document of yours. Let me clear the screen and then use this function, which is pyrag cohere file. Let me run it. The first question is where Fahad Mirza lives. It should find it in doc1 again. There you go. Fahad Mirza lives in Sydney. He's a YouTuber who creates content about AI, among other things. It is adding its own twist there. Let me comment this one and let me ask another one. Let's clear the screen. So now I'm just asking it, who is Fahad Mirza? There you go. So instead of location, it is first giving me my who exactly I am, what I do from my own document. And then this is all from my document. And then you can see that it is also showing us the citation that it found it from the doc0. So this is how easy it is to do the ragging with this Cohere model. And as I said, you can do a lot of things with it. It is just the better of your imagination. And see, you don't have to manage any vector database. You don't have to chunk anything, pre-process anything. It's all within your application. And Cohere's API is quite cheap too. If you really want to build a production grade application, I think you can rely on this one. And there are a lot of other features too. In future videos, I'll be covering more stuff about Cohere and Command R, so stay tuned. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, then please share it among your network as it helps. By the way, I will putting this all code in my blog and I will drop the link in video's description. Thanks for watching.